Hey ladies and gentlemen, it is a beautiful day outside here on UVA grounds. Thornton, great day for surveying. So I want to kind of do a short video of how you can kind of connect your data collector to the survey equipment because there might be some issues, and I wanted to make a new video displaying how you can do all of this information. So what I will say is that I've already taken my station out here and leveled it. Now you won't have it this close to the ground. There's a video posted online of how to set it up, and I've also instructed some of you on Friday, and I'll be instructing more of you who show up on Tuesday after class and after the test as well on how to actually set up the equipment so it's all right. But now that it's all leveled and everything, I'm just going to turn it on. And you see that it is level because it's not telling me like X tilt or anything like that down here. It just says OSET. So we are good to go over here. So what I want to do, I'm gonna prop my phone up here. Let's get my data collector, and I'm gonna hit the power button. And this takes a little while to turn on. All right, so once this is loaded, I'm gonna select Serve CE down here on the bottom, and this takes a second to kind of load. You'll know you click on it because you start getting this loading wheel right here. I had to move because the sun really started coming out. It's absolutely beautiful out here, but can't see the screen. All right, so you get this screen that pops up here that says continue last job or select new and existing job. We're going to select new and existing job right down here. All right, and you can see there's a whole bunch of jobs in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up with a new job. So I'm going to get rid of all that, and let's call this CE Test 1. All right, and then I'm going to hit OK, that green button on top. CE Test 1, it says on the bottom. I'm going to select that, and now it says it's loading its job. So what we want to make sure of is on this screen, when it pops up, that our distance is in US survey feet and in decimal feet, and our angle is degrees, minutes, seconds, and that our 0 azimuth setting is north. And if all of that information is correct, you just hit this green check right up here. It's going to ask you for a point. We don't want to do anything here. We want to hit the red X up top, all right? We do not want this at all, because what that's really asking for is it's asking for the location of the total station. We don't want that because we're going to be doing a resection. So connecting to the instrument, we're not going to select either of these as well. We're going to hit the red X on the top. All right, so now we've kind of set up our job, and what we want to do is we want to connect to our total station right over here. So we've got this all set up, and it is on and still balanced. So what I want to do is go to equipment, total station, get that in view, and we're going to go to the comms tab over here. We want to make sure it says Bluetooth. We want to make sure it says Windows Mobile, and we want to make sure our device is the same. So GTS 230 29 38 77, and you can confirm that on the total station right there. It's telling us that we have the correct station selected. And if it's not there, you can hit this little toolbox right here, and you can find device. And when you find your device with the correct number, you have to set the device pin, and the pins on these are 1111, just 4 ones. But I'm going to hit X over here because this is correct. I'm going to hit that check. It's going to say bonding with instrument. Hear that beeping? That was the total station and the display over here. And if you come over here and look at the display, you'll see that there is now a Bluetooth symbol above the battery. That means that we are connected. And you can see that over here. So I'm going to move back out of the sun. Take my station over here. All right. So what I want to do now is I want to prepare my equipment for a resection. So I want to go to File, right here, File, and Points. There should be no points here whatsoever. If there are any points, delete them, but there shouldn't be the way we did this. What I want to do is I want to add a point, and I want to set this point to number 2, and we're going to call this T1. I want to select OK. And what you want to do is you want to enter in your northing, easting, and elevation for all of these points here, okay? And once you do that, you hit the green check on top. All right, and as you can see, I have entered in all this information. The description is T1. You can see point ID is 2, and I've entered in all the information for this. So I'm gonna hit that green check on top. And what I wanna do is I want to add another one. So I wanna go back down over here, get my pen, and I'm gonna hit add again. All right, and I've done the same thing for point ID number 3. So this is T2, this is our second station. I've entered in that information. It's the same stuff that you see on the assignment over here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit that green check right there. All right, now we have these 2 points in here. So what I'm gonna do, get this focus on it. A little bit farther back. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna hit this orange back button. All right, so now we have everything kind of set up. So what I wanna do is I wanna go to Survey, and I'm gonna hit Resection. What you wanna make sure that you do is that you measure your instrument height and you know your target height. So target height is gonna be visible on your prism depending on how high you put it up. If you do change it, remember to change this value as well while you're taking your survey. And you want to enter in your instrument height here. So let's just say that our instrument height is 5 and our target height is 6. Okay, what you want to do is, here I'll go back, you want to go to where it says point ID, and you want to hit your numbers on the side, and we have point 2 and 3 that we listed before, and you can see that their descriptions are T1 and T2. That's what we put in before. So I want to select 2 right down here and hit the green. You can see it already populated all of our information. So what we want to do is have one of you guys standing at the location, and you're going to hit read right down here, and it's going to take that shot for you. All right, so as you can see, I kind of have my prism over there by T1. It's not exactly on it because I don't have anyone else out here with me. But what you want to do is you want to start taking your point. And one thing that is a good thing to know, it helps out with the closer points, but far away points, it could be kind of finicky. I don't know if I can get it in the shot, but there's like this little black piece up on top here. And when you look through that, oh, there it is. There's a little white triangle, and you want to try to line that up with the prism that you see, and you'll be able to find it. And now that's pretty hard to do when it's far away, but it's a good way to kind of get close to it, and then you can start focusing with your knobs down here. So I'm gonna line this up real quick. All right, so I have everything all lined up. Nice. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over to my data collector right over here. And what I'm gonna do is hit read. And would I like to zero the instrument? Yes. You hear it beeping, saying it's taking the reading. You hear the total station kind of clicking, and now it says valid reading. Target height set for 6 feet. That's what I have it set as right now. And your angle right should be 0 because we zeroed the instrument. So we have all of this information. I'm gonna hit check and OK. So now that I've done that, I've already taken that shot. I'm gonna select point 3 here and hit OK. And now that populates all of that information. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the prism on over to our second control point, which is right over here, and take that shot. All right, so I have everything all lined up for my point out there, my second control point. So looking back at my display, now that's all focused, I'm going to hit read again. You'll hear it start doing its beeping thing. So it won't be able to take the point if, I'm gonna hit cancel here. it won't be able to take the point if you see that this says X tilt over. And that's fine because these instruments aren't completely calibrated. They do have some tendency to be a little bit off center. So what you want to do is kind of just readjust it a little bit here so that it is level. All right. So now I've kind of readjusted, and I'm going to set this back so that it's pointing right at the station, or at the prism. All right, so now it doesn't have that X offset. So now that that is all set up, I'm going to go back here and hit read. Now that's going to happen to you guys a couple of times, and if you just need to rebalance it, that's fine. The instruments aren't very well calibrated because they've been used by a lot of people, so it's totally fine if you have to do that every now and then for a point. And what I suggest is taking a whole bunch of points. When you're taking your points, don't go back and forth across the map or across your survey site. Try to keep them localized, and if you can do that, then you don't have to keep on changing it often. It'll be kind of set for the angle that you're pointing at. But here you can see now we have an angle right. We went left, so of course we're going to have a large value getting close to 360 here. So we have all of our information. I'm going to select green check. And now the button that says calc down here is now available. We're not going to get another point here. We already got 2 points, so we're going to resection off those 2 points to find out where exactly we are. So I'm going to hit calculate here. And you can see we already have results. Now we have results down here. It's found where we are. I'm going to hit this green check right down here, and we're going to store this point number 1, and we're going to call this our OP, our operating point. And select the check down there, hit the green check over here, and now we're at point stored. So what we want to do now is go to store points, and now we're on the map, and as you can see, our last point that we took was our point 1. You can see it's showing our total station right over here. So now that we have all of that information all set up, what we can start doing is shooting our points. So I'm going to move the prism that's over there, and I'm going to move it like by the tree, and I'll show you guys how to take a point that way. All right, so I've moved prism over by that tree a bit, and I've already set my total station, so I'm pointing directly at it. So what I want to do here, see if I can get this to focus on it. There we go. All right, so what I want to do is I want to take a new point. So we already have 1, 2, and 3, so I'm going to select 4 and hit OK. I'm going to change the description. I want to call this a topo point. So topo, you could do elevation, you can call it whatever you want. I'm just calling it topo right now. This is how I'm going to build my surface. All of these points that I would be taking with this kind of description is what I'm going to build my surface from. So I'm going to select that check, and I need to read the prism. So what I'm going to do, so R is for read and S is for read and store. So I'm going to hit R, and it's taking the reading. You can see we have a valid reading here, but it doesn't have a point number to it because it's not stored. So we have our elevation and everything. So I'm going to hit the S, and I'm going to store that point. So now I have a point 4 that I've taken my reading of. That's great. So I'm going to do another one, and I'm going to move it to the right a little bit. I'm going to take another point here real quick. All right, so I have moved the prism over there, and I've already lined up my total station. So I'm going to set this down right here and focus on the data collector. You can see it already moved on to 0.5, and it's saying that I'm doing another topo point, but instead what I want to do, let's just say there isn't a tree over there, but let's say I am taking a point of a tree. So T, R-E-E, tree, I'm going to take this point of a tree. We don't have 0.5 yet, it already did that. Read, taking the reading. It got it, but it doesn't know what it is. I'm going to store and store that point. All right, so what I'm going to do now, so you can validate what you're actually doing is I'm going to hit this X over here. All right, and I'm going to go to File and Points. And as you can see now, I have 5 points in here, and if I scroll over, you can see I have my total station, my OP, my 2 control points, a topo point, and a tree point. Excellent. So that's how we know that we're doing what we need to do. So I'm going to go back to store points, and this is how you guys are going to keep on shooting your points. All right, so that's how you kind of get set up and get going. Hope this helps, guys.